It's the Monday after the Super Bowl. We have thoughts. The deep freeze might be over. And we'll get the latest on what's happening and not happening at the West Virginia State Capitol. This is Metro News Talkline, and we are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded.
We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ's in Charleston. Sophia Wasik is our audio producer this morning. If you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Jake Link runs the video stream. We are on the Metro News TV app. Also, might find us scrolling through Facebook and on the Metro News Television YouTube channel as well. Multiple ways for you to be part of the show. Text us at 304-TALK-304. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. I'm on X at Dave Wilson MN. TJ's on X. What's your X handle, TJ?
TJ Meadows, 304.
Yeah, we make it easy because we can't remember them either. So that's where you can find us on social media. The docile tones you just heard a moment ago is, of course, TJ Meadows, who holds down the radio ranch in Charleston. Morning, sir.
Morning. I always used to joke they were going to put a sign in my hometown that said home of TJ Meadows because I was going to accomplish big things in life. And then I was told, no, that's just so you can find your way home. So,
hey, anything that helps, man. Anything that helps. All right, coming up this morning, yes, we will get into the discussion that many of you are having today. Super Bowl, halftime, commercials, all the above. Our expert on all things pop culture, and because he was available, Dave Allen from Metro News Midday will drop by. A little bit later, we'll talk education policy with Tiffany Hoben from the Cardinal Institute of West Virginia and Libertarian Party chair Taylor Richmond will join us coming up in the second hour of the program. Also, let's tell you about some initiatives going on with the Marshall Athletic Department to encourage women in sports. Niesha Campbell will join us later this hour. With all of that, the top story over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, an extensive piece by Brad McElhinny examining the relationship between local law enforcement agencies and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency and the initiatives and incentives for cooperation between local law enforcement and ICE. Brad McElhinny joins us this morning from the belly of the beast at the state capitol. Brad, good morning. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, hello and good morning.
So let's dive into this piece, an extensive piece, Brad, on the relationship between, again, local law enforcement and ICE. And as it turns out, there is some incentive for local law enforcement to partner with ICE or go into these cooperative agreements, the 287G agreements. That's the broad overview. Give us some more detail.
Yeah, significant incentives for local law enforcement. And, you know, if you're from West Virginia, you know that your local government and particularly the police departments can sometimes be strapped for cash. So anything helps. But, you know, it's a bit of a trade-off. It means that these local law enforcement agencies are obligated to cooperate with ICE on its enforcement actions. If I could do a little bit of a timeline, Governor Patrick Morrisey announced maybe 6 months ago that three state law enforcement institutions would be entering agreements with ICE. Those were the state police, the Department of Corrections, and also the National Guard. He was very upfront about it, made a fairly, you know, straightforward announcement that the state of West Virginia would be doing that. What I didn't realize is that there was going to be a growing number of local law enforcement doing the same thing. And there was a sweep last month of all around the state, and the number of people netted during that sweep was about 650. You all had a guest from ICE Philadelphia who specifically mentioned that it was possible because of the relationships ICE has developed with these local law enforcement agencies. There are now 23 around West Virginia. In September, ICE announced that it would be providing the kind of incentives, support that I just described, and it ranges from salary and benefits of local law enforcement officers who are trained to be essentially deputized under ICE, also equipment to the local law enforcement agencies that participate. So, just a range of financial support, for the Fayetteville Police Department, the Berkeley County Sheriff. Since this went into effect, there are 23 total local law enforcement entities around West Virginia, a number that's growing all the time. Of those, 16 entered the agreements after these incentives were announced. So, it may not be cause and effect necessarily. It could be that some of them just would have been of a mind to agree to participate anyway. But, I think the incentives are just that. And the vast majority have joined up with ICE since the incentives have been announced.
And Brad, if I understand it correctly, the legislature will today vote on a bill that would make that participation obligatory. If the counties are signing up voluntarily, I guess, one, run me through the law, and then two, why do we need it?
Mm-hmm. There is a bill that's up today that would, it's in the Senate. It's going to be up for passage on the Senate floor session. And it would say that if you are a local law enforcement agency and you have arrested someone or encountered someone whose citizenship you believe to be not of the United States of America, and you believe to not be legal, you would have to turn those people over to ICE. There's going to be some questions about that, like how would the Fayetteville Police Department necessarily know that? What I've described to you in the earlier part of the program is a memorandum of understanding between local law enforcement and ICE. So it's a contractual obligation that local law enforcement is entering into. This bill doesn't mention that. Doesn't say you've got to enter into this, but it does say that if you've arrested someone or encountered someone whose citizenship you believe to not be valid in the United States of America, you've got to turn them over to ICE. How those things play together, I don't know. It seems to me like if this becomes law and you are under that kind of obligation, you might as well also get the perks. You might as well also sign one of these memorandum of understandings and, go ahead and say, yes, ICE, please provide our equipment, please provide our salaries and overtime, that kind of thing also. But the two are thematically related, but are not necessarily legally related.
Or do the feds pull it back? Why do you have to give it if you have the law? I mean, I'm not saying that to be sinister of the federal government, but I mean, if you don't have to pay it, why pay it?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is a national program, and the money became available out of the Big Beautiful Bill. But I mean, ICE got an incredible amount of national funding during that Big Beautiful Bill process. And, some states are more inclined than others to participate and to sign these memorandums of understanding. But it's more than just West Virginia. And so I don't think that the ICE and the federal government will necessarily say, West Virginia, it's all off. You're participating anyway. Just forget it. I don't think that's going to happen. The one thing that may be the case, though, is, different administrations are going to have different views of this kind of program. So let's say we have, President Bernie Sanders, the next go round. If your local law enforcement agency has begun to accept this kind of financial support and is able to hire more people, to have more equipment because of its relationship with ICE, under the next administration, it is not necessarily guaranteed. So, I mean, think of circumstances like what has happened with COVID money in the school system. It comes and it goes. And if you've overhired because the money's been available, that could be a question under the next administration.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny joining us. Brad, what is the structure of these incentives? Are they performance-based? Do you get more money if you get more illegal immigrants arrested? What's the incentive structure here?
There is an incentive structure. In part, it's salary and overtime, but there are bonuses as part of this agreement, and it's For example, 90 to 100%, $1,000 per eligible task force officer. That's for meeting roundup goals. Essentially, there's a tier for 80 to 90% of those goals. So when you see a sweep like what happened last month in West Virginia with 650 arrested, there's an incentive, a bonus incentive to meet those numbers. And I don't yet have a feel really for the number of those arrests that are going to stand and result really in deportations. So there are two different kinds of these stories. ICE and federal officials have emphasized really the worst of the worst and people with criminal backgrounds who were arrested. There are a couple in particular. Two that they highlighted out of the 650 who ICE and the federal officials say have unquestionably dark backgrounds who need to go. Meanwhile, there are about a dozen now in the federal court system in West Virginia whose defense is, all right, we came across the border illegally, but we have asked for asylum because of the unruly nature of our governments back home. Asked for asylum, and we have been in the system having our presence here in the United States adjudicated by the immigration system, and therefore are entitled to the protections and the due process of that system. And that argument means, well, if we're participating, if we're coming to our immigration court hearings, it shouldn't be local police and ICE saying that we've got to go. We've been participating, and so federal judges in West Virginia, no matter who they have been appointed by, in some of those cases have been saying, look, these have overextended the authority of deportation, and these people were already up for consideration to either remain or eventually be deported, but there is a system. So when you hear that there are bonuses per person handed over to ICE, think to yourself, well, what is the quality of those arrests?
Should we think of that and characterize that as the system working, that these people were identified, that they are working through the due process stage and they were segmented out? Or should we think of it as the system being broken? I'll pose it to both of you, that they were included in the first place. I'm not sure I have a good answer to that.
I mean, of the 650, very few were very specifically described. And so I don't have a feel, honestly, for the quality of the arrests, meaning, I think the political message has been that criminals are going to be arrested and deported. But there are obviously some in the court system right now who are saying, I've lived here for years. I have a job and a family, and I have been in the system. I have temporary protected status. And I've been abiding by the rules ever since I've gotten here. That is probably not everybody who got rounded up among the 650, but it's a portion of them. And I just don't have a feel at this moment for what number the portions are. Finally, I would say, there is a question, I think, of mission creep. It could be that immigration enforcement is a part of what your local law enforcement should be doing. But what part is that? Should it be a major aspect of what your local police are doing? Should it be a lower tier of responsibility? And so I think that's another question here. If you are expecting your local sheriff to be enforcing local laws, how much emphasis should this kind of immigration responsibility have?
Brad, we got about 2 minutes here. You spoke to the sheriff in Berkeley County, Rob Blair. You also spoke to a representative with West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, a West Virginia think tank. Two different viewpoints here. Like I said, about a minute and a half now. I've taken up some of your time. What were their thoughts on the law enforcement agencies participating in these programs?
Mm-hmm. Well, Sheriff Blair of Berkeley County, I got to thank him because he was generous with his time and explained his point of view. I've talked a lot about these incentives, but Sheriff Blair correctly noted that Berkeley County was on board even before the incentives became available. Sheriff Blair's philosophy is that if another law enforcement agency, in this case a federal one, has reached out for help, it's, their duty to provide that help. And so that's what happened in Berkeley County. But Berkeley did play, I think, a major role in that sweep of 650 people, just based on location. I mean, just so close to Washington, D.C., Baltimore, the state line, a lot of traffic on I-81. I also spoke with Sarah Whitaker, who is the senior criminal policy legal analyst for the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy think tank. And her view was a little bit, I think, nuanced, but she did raise the question of, if you are a citizen of a location with one of these agreements, then, do you begin to lose some trust over time in thinking, all right, what is the priority of my local law enforcement agency? Is it to enforce the local law? Or because there are incentives coming down from the federal government, does there begin to be a mission creep to try to accomplish the federal government's agenda?
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. Brad, 20 seconds. What's happening at the Capitol today?
Yeah, well, there is that bill in the Senate that would mandate that local law enforcement agencies have to participate with ICE. Finally, if you're interested in sports, the House Education Committee at 1:00 is going to have a policy rolling back much of the high school transfer policies that have been in effect over recent years.
Your Capitol Report brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia. Learn more at aarp.org/WV. You can read Brad's story on the ICE incentives right now over at WVMetroNews.com. Brad, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow at the Capitol.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Got to take a break. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Principal Greg Dosh of MTech.
Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop Thoron.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Dave Allen on loan for Metro News Midday, going to make an appearance bottom of the hour. Yeah, we'll get into what many of you are discussing this morning: Super Bowl, halftime show, commercials, etc., etc. Dave Allen, our expert on all things pop culture, tongue firmly planted in cheek, will join us coming up momentarily. Look, I thought I was grumpy. Then I met Dave Allen. I'm a ray of sunshine compared to his disposition.
I think I ought to get bonus and hazard pay for having to referee you two, if you want my take on it.
We could probably arrange that. Let's get a couple of texts in here. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, today is Brad's birthday. Did you know that? He did not disclose that information.
I did know it. I tend not to bring it up. Some people, I don't know. I don't want to be the one to let the cat out of the bag. But
well, the cat is out of the bag. Today is Brad's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Brad.
Happy birthday, Brad.
Your birthday present, you get to go cover floor sessions at 11 o'clock. The streak continues in Montague County with a scheduled day off today. That makes 18 straight weeks without a full week of classes, says the texter.
18? Jeez.
Wow. So you're going back to Thanksgiving, I guess? Prior to that? Wow.
How many of that is, I mean, weather is what of that? I mean, and then you had vacation, but it just seems like a crazy number.
I'd have to go look at the calendar.
Me too.
That's a lot of weeks. Texter says West Virginia has a unique culture. It's different from New York's, which is different from Texas, which is different from Alaska's, from Hawaii's, from Montana's, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're okay demonizing specific American cultures, then you're not a patriot. You're a hypocrite, says the texter. It's very reassuring that state and local police are willing to go along with ICE to violate constitutional rights for some extra money. America, America, God shed his grace on thee.
But did they? I mean, quality of arrest is an important topic that Brad brought up, and it looks like some have been flagged, but how many out of the 600 were in a process where they were still undergoing due process or hadn't yet had it? I mean, what, a few? I don't know the numbers, but it...
And you brought up the question, is the process broken or is the process working or something like that?
Yes.
So if a person is pulled over for whatever reason, stopped, traffic stop, the officer runs their information, or they don't have the information, runs their information, comes back that this person is a suspected illegal immigrant, then is it a matter of arrest and let the court figure out, okay, this person's in the system, they should not have been detained, or this person's not in the system, they should... I don't know. I don't know if that means the system's worked or not.
Yes. I mean, probable cause. You have to establish probable cause before you go to trial. The judge will do that.
Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update. Check in with the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. The state Senate is scheduled to vote today on an ICE-related bill. The measure would require certain people arrested by local police to be turned over to ICE. There are already a number of agreements between ICE and West Virginia police agencies. West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy think tank's Sarah Whitaker says that's concerning.
Any policy that commits local police agencies to an increasingly unpopular federal agency may mean more people turning away from local police, even after ICE moves on to other states.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny writes more at WVMetroNews.com. New Hancock County School Superintendent Walt Saunders says there's work to do in the county. Following a state takeover because of financial issues, Saunders has a couple of requests before residents.
I ask for two things. Check your sources when somebody's telling you that I heard this or I heard that. And then also I'd ask for some patience.
Saunders was hired by State School Superintendent Michelle Blatt to help clean things up. Still some leftover weather from the weekend, and including very cold conditions, and that caused about 44 of the state's 55 school districts to begin the day on a delayed schedule. But the weather does look better this week. Clouds and sun today in many areas of the state with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, so the thaw will start taking place. Could reach close to 60 degrees in some areas by the midweek. It's rain, not snow in the forecast this week. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence, and the great outdoors is coming inside. Join me at the 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. More than 100,000 square feet of fishing gear and hunting supplies, outfitters and charter boats, ATVs, campers and tractors, guns, knives, and much more, all under one roof. An outdoorsman's paradise. The West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th in Morgantown. A WVRC media event.
Hi, I'm Chris Waddell, Principal and Office Lead for Martinsburg for CEC. After serving in the military, I found my home in Martinsburg. Traveling across the states, I've always wanted to serve my community. At CEC, I get to do just that. Our core values, clients first and we own it, resonate with my mission-driven background. We solve problems by listening and collaborating, and as an employee-owned firm, we take pride in every project that we do. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating a fatal fire from the weekend. A person died in a blaze that occurred at a residence in eastern Kanawha County in the community of Marmet. Neighbors report hearing loud bangs before the fire. Next hour at the State House, there will be floor sessions for the House of Delegates and State Senate. Already some committee meetings scheduled for earlier today. More committee meetings this afternoon. We passed the halfway point of the legislative session this week. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
You heard Jeff Jenkins there in the news update. The halfway point is Thursday. Thursday is day 30. We will celebrate with cakes and pies at the AARP broadcast location on Thursday. I don't know about that, but I do know Thursday is day 30. Couple of bills to keep your eyes on. We mentioned Senate Bill 615. That's on third reading on the Senate floor today. That's the ICE bill. Let me see. Oh, the superintendent residency requirement. You wrote about that last week, TJ. That's on second reading today, or that would remove the residency requirement. And
I'm not sure it goes far enough, frankly. Strip the whole thing out. I don't care if they're from across the state border. Who cares?
Well, I mean,
somebody does, I guess.
Well, I mean, as current law, they could, move in once they're hired. There's nothing preventing them from doing that. You could hire somebody from California. They just got to move here. Well, Senate Bill 30, 18 to 20-year-olds. Being permitted to carry without a concealed carry permit. That's on second reading as well. That's over on the Senate side this morning. House, there is the House Bill 4759. That's the transfer rule modification. That is a bill being sponsored by Delegate Dana Farrell. That's House Education Committee later this afternoon. So, some things happening. Some things happening at the state legislature. Last night, Super Bowl 60. Seahawks beat the Patriots in a defensive rock fight. Great defensive play by the Seahawks, but everybody, as I was doom scrolling in the second half, was apparently a pop culture expert, and whether or not you liked the halftime show. That determined whether you're a good person or a bad person, I guess. I don't know. Dave Allen watched both halftime shows. He's an expert in all things pop culture or something like that. He joins us on loan from Metro News Midday, which you can hear on many of these same Metro News radio stations noon to 3 today. Morning, Dave Allen.
Good morning, Northern Day. Thanks for having me on the show. By the way, Dale Cooper from Hotline, Seahawks fan numero uno and has been for a number of years. He's quite happy. I talked to him upstairs. He's quite happy this morning.
See, he lived through the Jim Zorn, Steve Largent days. So he goes back away.
He goes back away. He became a fan like a lot of people did. I actually have a few friends here that became Seahawks fans because of Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner the first.
The first Kurt Warner.
The first Kurt, the one from Pineville. But a lot of people became Seahawks fans because of Kurt Warner.
All right. Was the halftime? Okay, look, hey. I get it. I'm tired of being told I'm old and the halftime show is not meant for me, so my opinion doesn't matter.
Don't forget racist.
Was it good? Was it bad? Do I care? Dave, everybody's talking about it this morning.
Look, I watched the halftime show. I'm kind of a rare breed here. I actually am more interested in the game than I am. And let's face it, I know you like a defensive battle. The first half, though, was an absolute snooze fest.
It was a rock fight, yeah.
I just was not that interested in it, and I tuned out at the beginning of the third quarter. I said, I'm done. I'm done with this. And it actually turned out to be a little bit better game after that, I think. Finally, somebody realized they could score something other than a field goal. But look, you got to understand, and when Wilson says I'm all things pop culture, that's very, very, as he said, tongue in cheek, because I really don't. TJ was calling him Big Bunny on the local show this morning. It's actually Bad Bunny.
I called him Big Bunny.
It's
Either way.
The guy's name.
Let me start with this. Whether you like Bad Bunny or you don't, he's one of the 2 or 3 biggest stars on the planet right now. He's not meant for older people. Like myself. I'm older than both of you guys, so that's not what the demo is when it comes to the halftime show. They're not going to bring back Up With People as they did, years ago. They're trying to appeal to a bigger audience, and I think, my personal opinion aside, I think it was a good move to put him on. I watched the halftime show, watched the entire thing. Also watched the Turning Point halftime show. I actually recorded it, went back and watched it this morning. From a musical standpoint, I like the Turning Point show better. Politics aside, from a musical standpoint, because that's the kind of music that I like. But the Bad Bunny experience was exactly what I thought it would be. Nothing more, nothing less.
So a couple of points. I watched the first couple of seconds. My 11-year-old kid is there with me. Sorry, I don't want him watching women twerking on TV.
Okay.
So I turned it off. I didn't watch the other one. But shouldn't we be celebrating? Because to your point, the NFL made a calculated decision. Mm-hmm. They wanted to try to bring in people who don't watch the game. They wanted to grow their audience, people who would just come for the halftime show.
And there are a lot of people that do that.
People can vote with their dollars.
Right, exactly.
And they did that last night. They either watched it or they didn't. But here's where it really gets tough. Apple Music, I think, sponsored the halftime show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is someone offended enough that if they have an Apple Music account, fine.
No.
They just turned it off or turned it on. Who cares? If you're that offended, there has to be some sacrifice in it. I think the only people profiting off of this are the people that want to use it for clickbait.
Right, and that's exactly what it was. And your social media last night, like mine, was best halftime show ever, worst halftime show ever. Best halftime show, worst halftime show. That's basically what it was. Couldn't get enough of Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point halftime show. It was completely awesome. It was a bunch of racism, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you got to start and end with this. I mean, people that said, well, what about an American? Okay, Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico. He's an American. Okay, all right, that's number one. Number two, a lot of people took issue with the Turning Point organization having Kid Rock on because, and I'm, full disclosure, I'm a huge Kid Rock fan. I have been since he came out. But primarily, Kid Rock has made his name by talking about strippers and underage girls and drug use. That's what his music primarily has been over the years. This is a guy, and I'm going to clean it up because I don't want all of us to have to take other jobs, who has a song called Blank You Blind Blank, okay? And
so two words out of that title are the only two we can put on the air.
The first one starts with an F, and the other one I left off starts with a B. And there is a line in the song that says, "I'll leave you face down in a ditch." Okay, this is a guy who did a song called "Rock and Roll Jesus" with a line that says, "I'm your rock and roll Jesus. You don't need a suit. You don't need a Bible." Now, granted, people change. I 100% get that. I thought his performance, I watched it, as I said this morning, was very, very good. He did the first part as Kid Rock, and then he came back later and did under his real name Robert Ritchie. And he did a country song, which was a song by Cody Johnson, and he did a very good job of it. I just thought it was interesting that for an organization, which I really don't know a whole lot about, Turning Point, that's a faith-based organization, to have Kid Rock on. I thought that was a little different. But at the end, Dave, people, if you like it, you didn't, whatever, life goes on, man.
Well, if the goal was to be talking about it the next day, then mission accomplished. Because Here we are, we're talking about it the next day.
And it's been that way for the last couple of years. If you remember the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, people said that was noise, it was terrible. Oh, well, you're a racist. You can that's not, you could have not liked the Bad Bunny show and not be a racist. Maybe it's just not your kind of music. And the same with Kid Rock. Just because you liked it doesn't mean that, you're stealing catalytic converters and, whatever. It just means that was more your kind of music.
But here's the thing. That narrative on Facebook and social media that you're anti-Latino or you're racist if you didn't watch the show last night, how much of that is really genuine public opinion versus bots that are just going crazy on Facebook and all the other social media platforms?
People go to social media to argue in the comments section of fill in name. It could be CNN, could be Fox News, could be one of ours. 9 times out of 10, you're arguing with someone who's not even a real person. So keep that in mind before you engage in this warfare over words on social media, that you're talking sometimes to people who aren't even real.
Tell you what I do appreciate, the fact that every advertisement is now targeted directly at my demographic. That I enjoy. I am finally in the target demo. Every single commercial is targeted at me, and I like it.
The commercials, you are in the target demo.
Heck yeah,
the
man.
halftime entertainment, you're not. And it's not. It's meant for the average age.
I'm so tired of that argument.
No, you're not.
The best shows, go back and look at the best shows. They're not targeted specific. Prince, you're telling me 18-year-olds, when Prince performed Purple Rain in the Rain?
Well, let's remember that was in the year 2006. Okay, that was a long time ago. All right, so let's keep that in mind. What was the demo back then? It changes. Okay, the average age of an NFL player, and somebody can look this up, is probably 23, 24 years old. When they pick the halftime show, that's what they're going for. They are going for that age.
It's an 18 to 22, 23, 24. I agree with you. But Green Day. Green Day was good in the pregame. I had that on. I was like,
that's our target demo.
My wife's like, yeah, I recognize that. I'm actually moving my head a little bit. That was the best show, in my opinion, yesterday.
Green Day. Gray hair, man.
Yeah.
I know. I know, it was crazy. Yeah. But we enjoyed that. Dave, let's face it, we're not the demo.
And at some point you have to realize that it's time to move on. I mean, guys, you and I were talking about this on our call early this morning. True retro right now is 2006, 2007. That's what oldies are right now. It's 2006, 2007. Life goes on, and whether we want it to or not. You remember this big social media thing a couple of weeks ago? And I only know it because I saw it on network news television. That shows you how old I am. I saw it on a report on ABC News that the hottest thing going was the year 2016. And everybody was going back and remembering what they were doing in 2016.
Why?
Because somebody somewhere just said this is what we need to be talking about. And all these people on this ABC News, it was a weekend show, were all talking about, do you remember back in 2016? Do you remember back? Yes, because it was 20 minutes ago in my life. It was 20 minutes ago. Yes, I remember 2016.
Saw a meme, I think it was yesterday, guys. It said, if you think 20 years ago is the 1980s, you need to go take your fiber supplement. Which I think is a good place to land this segment.
Well, and I will say this: all these people that are upset about Bad Bunny, or Big Bunny, as TJ called him, they're all upset about this. I didn't understand it, whatever. A lot of us, and I'm guilty of this as well, don't do that well in English. When you can post the difference between there on a social media post, then I'll listen to what you have
one
to say.
One texter said 145 million people watched it. I haven't looked at an official number. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But look, somebody watched it. And if 145 million people tuned in for the Super Bowl show, somebody at the NFL had it right.
Or they got up and went to refill their plates full of buffalo wings and just left the television on.
Which is why
went to the other room.
I missed the famous Janet Jackson. You remember what happened with the Janet Jackson
we all
incident?
Remember that, Dave.
Okay, well, I don't because I didn't see it live because I was getting more beer and dip in the kitchen when it happened, and somebody went, oh, my God, and I missed the entire thing live. Janet Jackson, meanwhile, is out there going, hey, anybody remember me? Anybody remember my blank?
Remember when that was controversial? All right. Yeah. Dave, we appreciate your insights into pop culture or something.
I'm always here. I'm always here for you, man. I got you.
All right. More Dave Allen coming up noon to 3 Metro News midday on many of these same Metro News radio stations. Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Coming up, we'll tell you about an initiative with the Marshall Athletics Department to get more women and girls involved in athletics. We'll talk about that next.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University, your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Coming to Parkersburg High School, February 6th and 7th. Who are the toughest men and women in the state of West Virginia? Watch Tough Man live on Metro News Television to find out. Featured fights, top 5 finishes, and event archives. Download Metro News Television on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, LG TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Find out more at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. And we craft detailed financial plans for people like you because you're building your retirement your way. You deserve advice that's built to handle what your life brings. To meet with your Stike team advisor, call us at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
National Girls and Women in Sports Day was last week. Marshall Athletics has a couple of events coming up this week highlighting women in sports, including Friday's Be Her, H-E-R, event and Saturday's Sweetheart Clinic. Joining us for more, please welcome to the program Deputy Director of Athletics, Chief Operating Officer, Senior Woman Administrator, Sports AD. That's a long title. Niesha Campbell. Niesha, good morning.
Good morning. It is a mouthful when you put it all together like that. Yeah.
We'll just go with Deputy Athletics Director for purposes to keep things brief. So, Niesha, how the first few months on the job been?
Good. They've been really good. I'm enjoying Huntington. My family is all settled in. We're here. We have four of us total, but 3 of us here. One's in college, and so my husband and my youngest daughter are here. We're excited about it. Not as excited about the ice. We like snow, not so much the ice. I've been told this is not normal. We don't usually have ice storms. Is that right?
Well, we hope it's not the new normal. Let's put it that way. We hope it's not the new normal. Talk to us about your background a little bit and how you got here. You've got a long-running history with Gerald Harrison, do you not?
I do. Well, I will say I went to school at Appalachian State. I know they're the enemy, so, you know.
We'll let it slide. It's okay.
But I went to App State, and I studied finance there. I was actually not a student athlete. I like to think that I'm a runner, but I was not a college athlete. Gerald and I have been friends way, way back. So I was working in the financial industry in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've known him for a while. Our family has. And when he started at Duke, I told him, well, I'm from the area, again, from Durham, North Carolina. I was like, if you have anything ever open at Duke, let me know. And that's the rest is history. So I've worked at Duke for about 9 years, NCAA compliance, HR, and a little bit of fundraising. Gerald got his first AD job at Austin Peay, invited us to come on over with him. We declined initially. Again, being from Durham and having all the family support there, it was just not the best time for our family to uproot. 3 years later, we joined him for the last 3 years of his time at Austin Peay. And then when he got offered a job at Marshall, he said, are you coming? And I said, I don't know. We're getting settled in Tennessee. But honestly, we came for his press conference, and on that visit, it was so special. We got an opportunity to run. Well, let's be honest, we didn't run. We rode in a golf cart. One of the football team ran to the site and got a chance to listen in on some of the speeches there that the mayor gave, that the coach gave, and it was just such a special place. It was compelling. It was the people that won me over, and so fast forward 6 months later, we're here. We're excited to be here.
Niesha Campbell is joining us, Deputy Director of Athletics at Marshall University. Niesha, last week, as part of National Girls and Women's Sports Day, the HERD, emphasis on HER, HERD Leadership Council or Leadership Circle was announced. What is that? What's its purpose?
Yeah, so we were intentional with the play on her and HERD. It is meant to gather our alums, our former female athletes, our current female athletes, and local supporters who happen to be female donors, and kind of gather them together. And we were really intentional about the word circle because we want them to draw on each other, and we want our current student athletes to learn from our alums, learn from our local donors, and everything from professional development to etiquette to how you advance to the next level after your sport. And so we're really focused on what you probably heard Jill call the herd mentality. And that's making sure our student athletes obviously have a wonderful time while they're at Marshall and they experience the best opportunity they can while they're here, but really preparing them and setting them up for their future success. And so that's after they graduate, what's their next. And so the HERD Leadership Circle is designed to help just do that, foster these relationships and this network of women and helping them grow and learn from each other. And so we're kind of pumped and we're excited about it.
Got a couple of events coming up this week. Friday's Be Her event and then the Sweetheart Clinic on Saturday. What's going on?
Yeah, it actually starts a little sooner than that. We're calling it the Weekend for the Gals, although my husband is coming to all this stuff, so guys are certainly welcome to come. Thursday night, we're kicking it off with women's basketball. They take on Georgia State, and so want everyone to come out to that. And then Friday night, you're right, we have a Be Her event. It is really cool. We have a ton of local vendors, so participants can come and kind of sample a local vendors and some female-owned businesses. So Austin's Ice Cream, there's a really cool charcuterie board, there's the retreats. Everyone likes to sample spa items, and then Hot Wick, a local candle company. And then after that, the participants have a chance to kind of watch our student athlete lead a discussion with a keynote speaker and kind of interact and hear how it is to be a student athlete in a day in the life. And so we're super pumped about that. But the flip side of that, we get to showcase our cool space, the deck, the Dutch Miller deck. And so if you're not there on the game days, right, the 6 game days that we have, it's a cool opportunity to come see the space. We've started, side note, we've launched something called Herd Hospitality, and people can anyone can rent out those spaces. So it's kind of a chance to see the Dutch Miller deck in a new light, see it all swagged out with pink. And again, it's a Galentine's theme, so lots of pink, lots of green. But so that's that night. That's Friday night. And then you're right, Saturday Sweetheart Clinic. We're super excited. This is something that Marshall's been doing forever. When we launched it this year, tickets or registration sold out in 8 minutes, like record time. So this is an opportunity for young girls in the community to come learn about different sports and try out what does it look like to play softball or to play tennis. And so it's like a little station where they get to try each sport out. And then again, after that, there is another women's basketball game against Arkansas State at 1 p.m. So a full weekend packed with fun stuff and an opportunity to check out our cool spaces.
Niesha Campbell, Deputy Director of Athletics at Marshall University. Good luck with the events, and thanks for stopping by. Come by anytime. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Take care.
Absolutely. Back to wrap up the first hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals. With a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being, our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
On the next State of Minds.
My dad always said, don't let any one individual control your destiny, what you do, what your value is. And I wasn't about to let Paterno do that to me. I mean, it was just a phenomenal time, my first game, and to be accepted as a Mountaineer.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
Jackpots are on the rise in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $113 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $366 million. So go ahead. Play today. We'll talk education policy. Tiffany Hoben, Cardinal Institute, will join us a little bit later on. Taylor Richmond, chair of the State Libertarian Party, will drop by. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30. Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Sonia, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian who...
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could...
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably... Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And she, I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
There'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour, Metro News Talkline. We're in the Encova Insurance Studios on great radio affiliates across the states and on the Metro News TV app. YouTube, Facebook, you can find us there as well. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. I'm on X at Dave Wilson MN. TJ is on X as well. That's
TJ
your cue.
Meadows, 304.
Coming up this hour, Taylor Richmond, Libertarian Party Chairman of West Virginia, going to join us. We'll talk to him about some of the things that are happening and not happening at the state capitol. Let me get a couple of texts in. We'll get Tiffany Hoben here into the conversation on education. Dave and TJ, if Elvis was alive and an illegal immigrant, I'd listen to him even after they arrested him and deported him. See you, Elvis, but your music is excellent. Enforce the laws and enjoy great music. In my humble opinion, I'm a consumer too, says the texter. He told you had 4 months to learn Spanish. If you didn't, that's on you. Kid Rock and Christian faith-based Turning Point are great partners. Kid Rock sings about statutory rape and child rape and is very common amongst the faithful Christians. 2 peas in a pod, says the texter. Halftime show was ridiculous. I suppose it was good music for the style. It's a shame NFL had to make an obvious political statement. It's not their business. At least they could have provided English subtitles for our pitiful American minority. I'd like to know what he said about America, says the texter. I wonder if Mon County Schools will schedule every day after the Super Bowl as a scheduled day off. I'd do it. Why not? Two things I have not heard this year, by the way, TJ, and we'll get into the conversation here with Tiffany. One, did you hear a single news story on the price of a Super Bowl ad this year?
I did not, sir.
That is usually low-hanging fruit that you do like on Friday.
Yeah.
The other is the usual low-hanging fruits of should the day after the Super Bowl, Monday, be a national holiday so nobody has to go to work. And I haven't heard that this year. Is it because we were at the Capitol and we were kind of insulated, or were those things not happening this year?
I just think people don't care as much anymore. I think there's a lot going on in the world. I think I'll be honest with you. I think as many people, if not more, are talking about what's going on in Arizona with Nancy Guthrie and following this story. And so, I mean, there's a lot in the news, I guess, is my point, that is maybe taken away. And I don't know why we're not celebrating, frankly. It worked. You watched it or you didn't. You voted with your dollars. The market works. Move on.
We will move on to education funding. That has been a topic of conversation, although little has actually happened so far this legislative session as it pertains to the school aid formula. We've talked about county school systems that have been taken over. Hancock County has been under scrutiny with its financial troubles. The Cardinal Institute of West Virginia has taken a look at the school aid formula and the struggling financial situation of many school systems around the state. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning from the Cardinal Institute in West Virginia, Tiffany Hoben. Tiffany, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what did Cardinal find when it took a look at the school aid formula in West Virginia and how dollars are dispersed to and dollars are utilized through the formula?
Well, I would need a much longer than you're going to give me to explain every single step of that process. But our funding formula is very complex. It's a difficult thing to understand. There are very few people who understand it kind of from start to finish. It's a multi-step calculation for how funding is assigned to each school district, including buildings, staffing formulas, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's really pretty complicated. And so playing around with it, like sort of at the edges and just changing this one thing or this, this other thing is probably not the best way to approach it.
Talk to me about these ceilings. You talk about this in some of your literature, or floors, I guess I should say, forgive me. It's 1,400 here in West Virginia, regardless of enrollment. If schools fall below that, many counties are still going to get a 1,400 level. Is that a disincentive for a county to live within their means or realize their economic situation and not close a school when they should close a school? How do you view that?
I think it can be. Most certainly, if you know that there's a floor for how many students they're going to interpret you having. If I only have 700 students in my district, but I know that I'm going to be treated as if I have 1,400, and that will always be that way no matter what happens to enrollment, those declining numbers, then I'm not incentivized to make any changes to the way that I'm budgeting and what I'm purchasing.
Tiffany Hoben is joining us, Cardinal Institute of West Virginia. When you look at how dollars are spent, how many are actually making it to the classrooms, and how many are being used for other things like administrative costs?
When you look at the steps of the funding formula, just general descriptions of what each one does, I mean, it's hard to know the exact dollar amount, right? I couldn't tell you exactly how many dollars make it into a classroom per student. But when you look at those steps, it's clear to me that because there are so many steps with so many ancillary factors like staffing ratios and building costs, that it's not about how much does it cost to educate this student. So a better way to approach that, rather than tinkering with the funding formula, would be to slow down, to take our time to look at some best practices in other states, which would include states that are doing a base number, right? A base funding number for every student, and then allocating dollars on top of that base for things like English language learners and special education students. That's a better place to start, to be able to know how many dollars are making it into the classroom for that particular student.
So if I'm hearing you right, that would be a multiplier. For instance, for a special learning student. So maybe that's 1.3. I'm making a number up, but that's what you would advocate for.
Yeah, something like that. Different states do it different ways. I think it's worth. I would never want, including myself, to be the person that makes these decisions. This is something that should have a working group with lots of different voices in it, and best practices from other districts and other states that are making this work and centering their dollars on student outcomes. And good examples of that right now, I feel like I've beat this drum again and again, are Louisiana and Mississippi, who used the ESSER dollars, right, the COVID relief funding that they got over the last 4 years, to really change outcomes for their students. Their lowest performing students have made up almost completely the learning losses that they experienced post-COVID. So they did something right with their dollars. And I think that's what we really need to be asking ourselves, is like, is the money we're spending creating value for kids? And if it's doing that, then we're doing the right thing and we need to move forward with that. And if it's not, then we need to change the way we're doing this. And I don't think our current funding formula, I don't think you can look at it and look at the 10 or 12 steps that it takes you through to determine funding and actually determine if it's creating value for students or not, because it's so complicated.
Tiffany Hoben joining us, Cardinal Institute of West Virginia. So, and I've talked to some lawmakers, and I don't see anything major happening this session because of what you just said. The formula is so complicated. This needs a lot of research, a lot of work. Do we throw it out and start over?
I don't see why that shouldn't be on the table.
What would you start over with?
A base number per student, right? That to me, that's the starting point. Is what do we think we need in terms of a base allocation of local, state, and federal dollars? What would that amount be? And then start from there. And I think, again, a working group, a panel of experts, bringing people in who understand this and know how to build it from the ground up is always going to be the best way to start. Because one of the things that we've been talking about doing is, well, let's just play with the part that funds special education students. Well, I've been privy to emails that the state has sent out to district directors saying, we don't actually have levels allocated to our special education students. They said there were over 10,000 students where they had not assigned them a level in the system, level 1, level 2, level 3 for special education. Well, that largely determines how much you spend on a student.
Is that a federal classification, or where does that come from? Who establishes the level?
Right. Once a student has been flagged as an ESE student or special education student, then they fall under ideas, and those are federal regulations that determine what the level is. But there's a big difference. A level 1 student might need something like extra time, a little bit of reading intervention, different circumstances for their assessments. And then, level 3 might be something where a student needs a one-to-one aid or a wheelchair or something that costs a lot more money. So not even understanding where the dollars are going because we don't have levels assigned to these students. We have to start from a further point back than playing around with the edges.
Tiffany Hoben joining us, Cardinal Institute of West Virginia. Have we been approaching, it sounds to me like we've been approaching it for some time from the viewpoint of funding systems, and you're advocating fund the individual students, then collectively you'll fund the system. We're looking at it, fund the system, then fund the students. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's 100% what I think. And I understand that there are varying degrees of differences between districts, right? What each district faces is different. Their student populations are different. The number of buildings they have is different. How rural they are. There's all these different calculations that need to happen to help determine funding. But that is a system. You're talking about a system. You're not starting with what does this student need? And I think that if we want to get back to driving outcomes for kids, right? What do we want that senior to look like when he walks out the door on his or her graduation day? We've got to start from a point of what do we need to do that's best for students, and then build out how we fund from that point, rather than how can we keep all these buildings in operation? How can we keep all these people employed? Because that's not the purpose of public education. The purpose of public education is to educate students.
I want to take a look at some of the numbers you sent over. They're fascinating. According to the information that you sent me, the state schools identified 20%, West Virginia schools identified 20% of their students as having disabilities. That's higher than the national average at 16. When we break that down, roughly 36% have some kind of learning disability. That would include dyslexia. 18% have a, quote, other health impairment, which is also would include things like ADD, ADHD. 18% speech or language impairment, autism 8%, and the remaining categories, about 19%, have 9 different categories. I guess here's my question. Those levels you talk about, would these distinctions place a level? So is it every county that's failed to assign one of these levels, or just some counties? Because I would think if we have these distinctions, we would be able to assign a level, and then we would be able to assign the right multiplier. Some multipliers may be higher, some may be lower. Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't know what's happening at the district level, right? Like okay. I don't understand what the disconnect is between the district and the state. And I'm not implying that the district didn't do this. I'm just saying the email said the state didn't have that information. So that either wasn't provided or it wasn't documented. Okay. But nevertheless, yes, that's part of it. And so one of the things that I think is really interesting, over-identification is happening across the country. So it's not just West Virginia, although our identification rate is slightly higher. So what if this, and I'm not saying this is the case, but what if after COVID, those kids are in middle school right now, right? They're like 7, 8, maybe some 9th graders, right? Because they were like K1 and 2 formative reading years during COVID when school was out. What if what we actually have is less of a special education situation in some of these categories, specifically the learning disability category, is the primary instruction, the fundamentals were not done well or at all because school was canceled and instruction was spotty. And what we actually have is a remediation problem because we have a whole bunch of kids who are now in 7th and 8th grade and their reading skills are not strong. And we know that science of reading works. We have legislation in this state for science of reading, but this was 5 years ago. And these kids missed formative primary reading instruction. And maybe we've labeled them as ESE because that where they fall in reading instruction is a factor. And it's not the only factor. You can't use it as the isolating factor to put a student in as a special education student, but it is a consideration. And so if they're 2 or 3 or 4 levels behind in their grade level reading, to me, that would be a strong consideration to put them in a program that's going to provide them a lot of support. But are they really special education? And I don't know the answer to that. But I suspect some digging maybe we need to ask those questions before we just blindly fund more money into these programs. Like, what's really happening here? Is this the best way to meet these students where they're at and get them where they need to be before they graduate?
Tiffany Hoben with the Cardinal Institute, West Virginia. Tiffany, where can folks see the reports and read the studies, check out the information that's available?
Yeah, all of our work is on cardinalinstitute.com, and it's all under research. They can see my paper on the special circumstances reviews for the districts that have been taken over in West Virginia, as well as the information on funding formula and some ESE information, some special education information will be put up shortly.
Thank you, Tiffany. Appreciate it. Always appreciate the perspective. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Coming up, your text, 304-TALK, 304 phone calls. Welcome as well, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK, 304. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
WVU Medicine's Reconstructive Urology program offers expert, personalized care for complex conditions, from trauma and strictures to erectile dysfunction and incontinence. Our nationally recognized specialists use advanced techniques, including robotic surgery and prosthetic implants, to help you reach your goals. Schedule your consultation today at 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I've had
a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Virginia.
All right, we got a couple of minutes here. Taylor Richmond going to join us. We'll toss this at him as well. Texter brings to our attention Stephen Allen Adams, friend of the show, retweeting an update on West Virginia voter registration numbers that show Republicans lost 374 registrants from January, but Democrats lost over 2,000 registered voters since January. And now the other category has overtaken registered Democrats in the state of West Virginia. The texter says, TJ, today's news, it isn't huge, but is it? Asks the texter. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to look at these numbers because a couple of things. I'd like to overlay, I should say, the number of Republican, Democrat, and I guess the Eagle is other. That would include independents as well. I'd like to include that loss or overlay that loss with any population loss that we're having, right? If people are moving out, are you clearing the rolls? What's going on? You can also make the argument people are opting out. I don't know. There's a couple of ways to read that, but I think overall, when you look at it, it's not just Republicans that are growing year over year over year. It's also the other category. And again, it brings up that point that we always go back to. We got more and more people that don't want to belong to a party for whatever reason, and we continue to disenfranchise those voters. What's that going to mean long term, and how long are they going to take it? I don't know, but I'm not seeing a mad exodus of people here leaving the other category to go register Republican so they can vote in the primary.
Now, if they were, you would see the number obviously going up.
Going up.
But you're right. You need to overlay that with population growth, cleaning voter rolls, all of that. It's curious. It's curious because I don't remember the last time I saw the GOP numbers go down month over month, as Steve Adams points out as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment.
It's curious. I'll leave it to the data heads to crunch the numbers there. Taylor Richmond's going to join us. He is chair of the State Libertarian Party. He's got thoughts on many things. We'll get to those. We'll get to your text as well, 304-TALK-304. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number if you would like to weigh in. We'll be back at the state capitol tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday under the dome. In fact, already working on a few things. Look at us. We're working ahead this week. It's it's about as rare as Haley's Comet coming by.
You know how much I love that, don't you?
Oh, yes. You're a planner. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. 4 sessions getting started this hour in Charleston as the legislature nears its halfway point.
Today marks the 27th day of the 60-day legislative session. The midpoint of the session is this Thursday. The House of Delegates has 4 bills on passage stage today, including the Make West Virginia Healthy Act of 2026. The 11 o'clock floor session in the House will also include 9 bills on amendment stage. Over in the Senate, 5 bills are up for passage in the Senate's 11 o'clock floor session, including a bill that would require West Virginia police to turn over those with illegal immigration status to ICE. The Senate has 5 bills on amendment stage, including a measure that would expand the state's current concealed carry without a permit law to include 18 to 20-year-olds. The House Judiciary Committee meets at 9 this morning with 4 bills up for passage. A House Finance budget hearing today is scheduled with the West Virginia Parkways Authority. I'm Jeff Jenkins, WVMetroNews.com.
ICE recently arrested more than 600 illegal aliens in West Virginia, a collaboration that's been growing for a while between them and local law enforcement. Last year, the agency announced it would offer valuable incentives like equipment and money for overtime and bonuses to local law enforcement. Berkeley County Sheriff Rob Blair.
Anytime you can receive reimbursement for the work you're doing or receive funds for whether it be equipment or overtime or what it may be, it not only helps the agency, but it helps the individual.
More at WVMetroNews.com. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
The State Culture Center at the Capitol Complex turns 50 this year, and sadly, Tourism Secretary Chelsea Ruby, who's also in charge of the Division of Culture and History, says it's been ignored in recent years when it comes to maintenance.
We're on year 32 of a 20-year roof. So those regular things that we need to be monitoring weren't being monitored to the level that I would like to see them monitored.
She's asking for $10 million initially and will come back for more as they figure out exactly what needs to be updated about the building. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Watching the Senate floor session, Mike Woelfel has the microphone as we speak. Looks like they are discussing the ICE bill, which is up for third reading, that would require law enforcement agencies turn over anyone suspected of being in the country illegally to ICE. Tom Willis is defending the bill. Mike Woelfel is asking questions, and I cannot keep up with the closed captioning quick enough to tell you what is going on, but I can tell you that is happening on the Senate floor, and I'm sure Brad McElhinny will have more about that coming up later. You can read Brad's story right now at WVMetroNews.com regarding the incentives that local law enforcement agencies are being offered to participate and cooperate with ICE in its operations. That story is available again at WVMetroNews.com. All that said, please welcome to the program the chair of the State Libertarian Party, Taylor Richmond, friend of the program. Taylor, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Doing well. Hey, just quickly, because we really haven't had time to chew on the numbers, but some new numbers out regarding voter registration. Republicans lost a few hundred. Democrats a little over 2,000. And now the other category has surpassed Democrats in the state. Other would be other parties like the Libertarian Party, independent voters. Just your 20-second take on those initial numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Democrats have been evaporating in West Virginia for a number of years now, and I just appreciate the opportunity to get on and talk about libertarian principles to convince the number of undecided, unaffiliated voters that there is an alternative party for them that represents small government, less taxes, free, more liberty and freedoms in their lives, and we'll fight for that.
All right, Taylor. The state legislature, I mentioned the ICE bill is being debated right now. It's on third reading. What have you been watching at the state capitol through the first half of the session so far that has piqued your interest? What's not happening at the state capitol that's piqued your interest?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have as I mentioned before, a bunch of Republicans who campaign as libertarians and then get down to Charleston and govern as liberals and want to expand the spending that they're doing, the size and scope of government while they're down there, and all the rest, and completely go back on all of those promises. I mean, you look at the money they're willing to throw at these counties who are facing millions of dollar deficits in education. They're wanting to turn over the internet service providers to the PSC and give government more control over the free market. Things like that is just kind of head scratching, to say the least, but you're not seeing hardly anything in terms of quote unquote economic development that's not them picking winners and losers in certain industries. I mean, eventually, gentlemen, there's going to be a day that comes very soon where they're going to run out of classrooms to put Bibles in and things they can limit trans people to do. I mean, if they don't get to actually hard brass tax bills that help the wallets of West Virginians, the headline next year is going to be that West Virginia outlaws Mrs. Doubtfire.
There's a bill that has been introduced, Senate Bill 680, that would completely repeal the personal income tax and would completely repeal the corporate net income tax. When I read that bill, Taylor, I don't see a plan in terms of how we would do that. That's roughly $2.5 billion that the state would lose in general revenue. I don't see any new taxes levied. I'd like to understand what the Libertarian Party thinks about that plan and how you view that legislation.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny, TJ, is that Republicans and Democrats like to label us as unrealistic, nonsensical in some of our ideas and philosophies, and that's predominantly because they don't want to actually have hard, tough conversations about political strategies and how to get those goals accomplished, which, again, they campaign on, they just don't want to deliver. Of course, libertarians want to eliminate the state income tax. We want to eliminate the business inventory tax, sales tax, and all the rest, but we're actually pragmatic about it. Why don't we look at a 3 to 5% cut in the state budget year over year until we get some of these things actually eliminated? They want to talk about running the state like a business and making things more efficient, but they keep this flat budget that actually increases year over year. If you take 5% of our state budget, that's $250 million. That's a huge chunk out of the state income tax, and we can continue to move forward to actually looking at things like personal property tax and sales tax and the rest. So they're not realistic. They're not serious about this. This is just so they can go back on the campaign trail leading up to this November, pound their chest and say, look what I did. I proposed this. I'm a big fighter against your taxes. But they aren't serious enough about it to actually move it anywhere even out of committee.
Well, let's play the hypothetical game. Let's say we do that, Taylor. We are able to reach a point where we have cut government back to its bare bones. It is doing the essential government services things that we need it to do. Where do we generate revenue from? From a libertarian perspective, where do you generate revenue to keep the government running and provide the essential services that it's meant to provide?
Yeah, people talk about libertarians wanting to privatize the roads and get rid of all of these things. If our government actually cared about basic services like our firefighters and police and our roads, we'd actually have a lot better state and easier to drive around than what we do now. So yeah, it has to come from somewhere, right? And I think generally speaking, a pragmatic approach would be, as TJ has mentioned on previous episodes, consumption or luxury tax is probably the fairest way to go. Elimination of income tax allows for both incentivizes growth, incentivizes hard work and investment, it incentivizes generational wealth. Whereas if you're going to go out and actually splurge on a new car, truck, boat, whatever it may be, that's where we can. And you can't escape the tax man there. If you want to say tax the rich, that's a big talking point of our friends on the left. But they have all kinds of ways to evade and avoid those taxes. You can't avoid it at the cash register. So it's the fairest way to go. And we can get that down to the bare minimum that we need to provide those core services.
Running through legislation that is up to date, and Dave, help me out here. What is the bill number for the gun bill? Go ahead.
Senate Bill 30, that is the one that would allow 18 to 20-year-olds to carry without a concealed carry permit.
Yes. So if they get the permit, they can carry concealed now, is my understanding. Taylor, from a libertarian view, which is so based on personal freedoms, talk to me about where you come down on that legislation versus the protection of those personal freedoms of those 18-year-olds who can go to war for this country, but yet we need to hold their hand when it comes to whether or not they can carry a gun concealed.
Yeah, and that was the head scratcher really for us when the constitutional carry passed the first time that didn't include 18-year-olds. I mean, they're adults in every other sense of the terminology and the definition. Again, as you mentioned, can go off and defend our country, can become police officers and do all kinds of great things for our communities, but they can't protect themselves unless they go through the class. But as soon as they turn 21, then miraculously now they're much more responsible. It just didn't make sense. I think it's a fantastic bill. It should have been done with the first passage of constitutional carry. A shout out to our friends in the West Virginia Citizens Defense League who are pushing this legislation and getting it there, but it should have been done the first go round.
Is there any safety concern? That's the response from critics, is that there is a safety concern. Do you want 18, 19, 20-year-olds walking around unlicensed, without a permit, who have not taken the training courses?
Yeah, well, of course, there's always safety concerns, but liberty is scary, but deal with it. I mean, it's a famous quote. But at the same time, I mean, you have to, and one of the things the Libertarian Party is very critical on is if you do hurt somebody, if you aggress upon their person or their property, there should be penalties for that. But up until then, you shouldn't have your liberties infringed upon just because someone is afraid of what may possibly happen. If we go down that slippery slope, we have a lot less freedoms and be able to do a lot less. But the ability to protect yourself, I think, is one of the core principles of from our founding. And to say that at 18 you're not mature enough or safe enough to handle a firearm, when most of us, especially in West Virginia, grew up with firearms from the age of 5 or even younger, depending on your pap or your dad when they started taking you hunting.
So Taylor, I have to tell you, I was kind of with Dave on this, and not that this is Dave's position, but I was kind of thinking, okay, what about safety and these kinds of things? And then I got to thinking about everything that an 18-year-old could do outside of military service or being a police or fireman. They can enter into legally binding contracts. They can buy, sell, and own property. They can buy and own businesses. They can open those entities. They can be sued based on legal actions that they take. They can run for public office in a lot of instances. They can serve on a jury. I'm like, yeah. If they want to, what's the difference between 18 and 21? If you can do it at 21, okay, do it at 18. And I guess, my question is to you, should this open other areas that are currently off limits once you're 18 years old versus 21?
Sure. And I think, again, to my previous point into the previous question, you're still liable if you do negligent discharge or, you kill someone. Murder is still a crime. All the penalties still go along with the, improper use of a firearm, whether you're 21 or 18. Those laws are still on the books, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think we want to protect when people are actually harmed and hurt. And as long as those laws are in place and enforced, then the freedom should be there, regardless if you're 18 or 21, no matter what the situation is.
I want to get your take. We're talking to Taylor Richmond. He's chair of the Libertarian Party here in West Virginia. There are a couple of bills circulating regarding criminal penalties. One, just as an example, House Bill 4695 comes up today. It'll double the criminal penalty for sexual assaults on a minor. And I'm just using that as an example, but there are several bills that would increase prison time for a variety of crimes. And we're talking about some of the most heinous. Obviously, sexual assault on a minor there. I believe there's one for second-degree murder, but there are a couple floating out there. What are your thoughts on those?
Well, that goes back to my last answer. There's a meme that goes around in libertarian spaces that, that wood chippers are good for big plants and pedophiles. So, I mean, now obviously we wouldn't put to death necessarily anybody, but that's kind of the mentality is when you have these very serious crimes, rape, murder, sexual assault, there should be very serious penalties that go along with it because those are the worst type of things you can do to another person. You take away that personal ownership in a lot of regards. So that should be out there in place and enforced. I think what we as libertarians are very concerned about is things like death penalty for possession of certain substances or extending jail time for possession of certain substances, where we know that these people aren't getting treatment, they're getting harmed more than they're recovering, and it does worse to society. The war on drugs has been an absolute failure. So while there are certain things that I understand and would support more serious punishments for, we also need to take a hard look at what we're punishing minor possession and those type of crimes for as well.
How do you pick your nominees? We don't talk a lot about that process when it comes to libertarians. We talk a lot about it with Republicans and Democrats. And shame on me, I've never asked you. So I'll ask you, how do you pick your party nominees?
Yeah, so we do it by convention. We fully support a closed selection process to like what the Republicans are doing. The only difference is, TJ, we don't use your taxpayer dollars to fund our selection process. We pay for it out of our own pocket, hold our own convention, and do it there. If we don't do it at our convention, which is coming up on the 14th of March, our executive board can approve a nomination for a position as well, for a candidate as well. So we're all for closed door or closed rooms and full of smoke and urban and other fine beverages, but we don't use your taxpayer dollars to pick them like the Republicans still do.
Don't forget twirling mustaches, by the way. That has to go on behind closed doors as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. I need a little more wax in mine to get there.
Taylor Richmond, chair of the Libertarian Party here in West Virginia. Always appreciate the perspective. Thanks, Taylor.
Appreciate you guys.
Take a break. Come back. We'll get to some of your texts. 304-TALK-304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. May not feel like it right now because it's, 7 degrees outside, but you'll regret not thinking about the warm weather when the warm weather actually arrives and you do not have a fishing boat or a pontoon boat from Lewindle Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory online right now at LewindleMarineSales.com. Lewindle Marine Sales, we sell family fun. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Winter in West Virginia can bring snow, ice, and everything in between. But while the weather changes, your internet shouldn't. CityNet Gig Fiber is 100% West Virginia owned and built for reliability, delivering fast, symmetrical speeds that outperform satellite and cable, especially in tough weather. And right now, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for 1 full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month and speeds up to 10 gig. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
So it's Dennis, it's Rodman degrees out there today.
Oh, that sounds really uncomfortable.
I know it does. I know it does.
Is that legal? Is that past FCC? I don't know if you're allowed to say anything's Rodman something. That's
it's Rodman degrees.
That's outside. Like saying it's awful Diddy out there. I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah. Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
This Valentine's Day, which is Saturday, by the way, fall in love with your internet all over again. CityNet Gig Fiber delivers fast, reliable speeds with no contracts, no data caps, and local West Virginia support. And right now, new customers can get 50% off any internet plan for 1 full year. With plans starting at just $25 a month, check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet, love at first speed. The text line is 304-TALK-304. Guys, can we contrive some scheme to get entertainers to give themselves names that don't make us feel like idiots? I overheard 2 seniors talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. Just hearing them say things like, "Now you take that there Bad Bunny, I thought he hopped around too much. And that there Kid Rock needs to shampoo his hair. The whole fiasco was boring. Maybe next year," says the texter.
If it wouldn't embarrass her, I'd like to pick up the phone line dead right now, cold, call my mother and say, "Do you know who Bad Bunny is?" And I'm betting she would say no.
But I bet she knows who Hank Williams is. Just saying.
Yes.
Texter says, the NFL was not making a political statement. It was marketing to the international audience. Also, I think we should save all of our outrage for something more important. I think you're 2 for 2 on that text. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They're going to play 9. I think the NFL announced 9 international games next year. 304-TALK, 304. Does this create a double standard for alcohol consumption? Talking about 18-year-olds. You can't rent a car until you're 21, says the texter. There was something. We'll move on. 18-year-old males do not have the mental maturity to responsibly conceal carry, says the texter.
Then don't draft them for military service.
Do they have the emotional or mental maturity to sign contracts, as you pointed out to the texter?
Yeah.
It's an arbitrary number. Look, I know 40-year-olds who are not mentally mature enough to do a lot of things, yet we let them. So it's an arbitrary line, but you have to have a line somewhere. Is it 18? Is it 21? We have 7 minutes in the show, but go on.
This is going to sound terrible. You can't be halfway pregnant, folks. You're either an adult or you're not. And if you're an adult, you should be accorded the privileges of being an adult. There's too much.
And the responsibility.
And the responsibility. Thank you.
That goes both ways. We move the number around. For some things, you're 18. For some things, it's 21. You can stay on your parents' insurance till you're 26.
I know. So we're going to pull that down. Now you can't own property until you're 26. You can't do this until you're 26 because you're not an adult. We cause our own problems.
Yes. Bingo. Thanks to Dave Allen for my new Stealing Catalytic Converters playlist. What do you guys listen to when you are making spare cash? Asked the texter. Let's see. I'll be cruising down to Charleston later this afternoon, and it will probably be Southern rock, classic rock, and country no later than maybe 98, maybe 99.
I've got a playlist called Bumper Music. It has nothing older than 2003 on it. And very rarely do you get over 2000.
I'm fine with that. I'd say you're right in the ballpark.
Yep.
The meaty area of the curve. All right, got to take our final break. We're back to wrap things up. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals, with a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being. Our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Every day in West Virginia, we play for something bigger.
As a mom, I play for her education.
I play because it helps provide care for the ones who care for us.
I play to help keep our parks beautiful.
Why I play? Because every play supports West Virginia's future, our students, our seniors, and our state parks. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery have totaled nearly $13.7 billion. I play. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. So go ahead, play today. Talk to you from the Upper Rotunda tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.